Here's what you need to remember. On their first pass, the Soviet crew were on deck waving, at first assuming the aircraft were their Bear bombers. On the second pass, not one member of the Soviet Navy was to be seen. 160 feet from tip to tail. 185 feet across. 240 tons of metal, fuel, bombs, and human flesh traveling at 650 miles per hour. You wouldn't think something so big, moving so fast, would also be capable of skimming the ocean surface at an altitude of just 80 or 90 feet, lower than the deck of an aircraft carrier. The B-52 force has been preparing for that mission for decades. As far back as the late 1970s, bomber crews honed sea-skimming flight profiles that would hopefully allow them to penetrate stiff enemy defenses and blow the hell out of ships. Soviet ships, that is. The website Vintage Wings of Canada has described this deadly art of low-level flying. And retired Air Force B-52 pilot Doug Aitken told the site about his own experiences pushing his bomber down to wave-top heights during the Iran hostage crisis in December 1979. "We ended up sending a squadron's worth of B-52H to Guam," Aitken recalled. At Guam, the deployed crews immediately began training in the conventional missions they were not proficient in: sea surveillance, mine-laying and conventional, iron bomb, missions. We were tasked by the Joint Chiefs of Staff to fly a mission deep into the Indian Ocean or Persian Gulf to surveil the Soviet fleet. At this time, the U.S. 7th Fleet was in the area being shadowed by the Soviets, and their Bear bombers, launching from Afghanistan, were harassing our carriers. The JCS evidently wanted to show the Soviets and the Iranians that our strategic air power could reach them that far out. These two B-52H launched in darkness, filed as KC-135, aerial tankers, to Diego Garcia, complete with bogus KC-135 crew lists on the flight plan. Gunners were instructed to leave their radar off, and radar navigators were instructed to use frequencies that KC-135s would use. After refueling with tankers based in Diego Garcia, these B-52s flew, due regard, i.e., no flight plan, into the Persian Gulf. This deception was successful. The crews made contact with the U.S. Navy and were vectored to the Soviet fleet. On their first pass, the Soviet crew were on deck waving, at first assuming the aircraft were their Bear bombers. On the second pass, not one member of the Soviet Navy was to be seen. 30 hours and 30 minutes in duration, the bomber sorties became known as Winchester missions, deadly like the .30 to .30 caliber rifle. In the most recent test, conducted on May 5, everything went smoothly and a B-52 Stratofortress from the 49th Test and Evaluation Squadron, Barksdale Air Force Base, AFB, Louisiana, successfully took part in a simulated hypersonic kill chain employment from sensor to shooter and back during Northern Edge 21 exercises. The drills, which included service members from the U.S. Air Force, U.S. Army, U.S. Navy and U.S. Marine Corps, provided high-end, realistic warfighter training, develops and improves joint interoperability to enhance the combat readiness of participating forces. NE-21 further built on the lessons learned during Valiant Shield 20, which was held last September. During a more than 13-hour sortie from Barksdale AFB to Alaska and back, the Air Force's B-52 proved it could receive target data from sensors via the All-Domain Operations Capability Experiment, or ADOCE, more than 1,000 nautical miles away at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson. Once the crew of the B-52 received the data from the ADOCE, the bomber then was able to successfully take a simulated shot of the target from 600 nautical miles away using the AGM-183 ARRW. The AGM-183A ARRW could give the Cold War-era B-52 even more lethality. The weapon, which is being developed to be carried and launched from the bomber, can fly at speeds between 5,000 and 6,000 miles per hour, roughly between Mach 6.5 and Mach 8. At such speed, the ARRW, reportedly pronounced Arrow, could hit a target 1,000 miles very quickly, limiting the response time of defenders. The missile is made up of a solid fuel rocket booster that is topped by an unpowered boost glide vehicle, and the rocket booster can propel the missile to hypersonic speeds, after which the glide vehicle detaches and continues to the target.